Hello, and welcome to the Spiritual Sanctuary. My name is Bertina. I'm the priestess, spiritual coach, and yoga teacher, and your podcast host. I'm happy to welcome you to day 4 of our special series on the International Week of Yoga. So far in this series, we've explored yoga as more than movement. We began with the deeper meaning of yoga as union, connection, and a practice of returning home to yourself. Then we took a gentle journey into the history of yoga and its ancient roots. Yesterday, we explored the 8 limbs of yoga as a spiritual map for living. And today, we're going to explore the many paths of yoga. This is such a beautiful topic because it reminds us that yoga is not a one size fits all. There's many ways to practice yoga. I have included a few more in addition to the traditional 4 that I was taught, but it's just for you to show that or for you to see that there are so many ways to come home to yourself and to connect to the divine. Realize that some people are connected to devotion or study or meditation or movement. And all of these things can be doorways into yoga. So it's important because people always think, well, I'm not good at yoga because they're only thinking about the asanas or postures. But yoga is so much more than that. So your path may also be energy or mantra or meditation, but there's room for all of this in yoga. And so today's spiritual reflection is going to be there are many ways to come home to the divine. So let's begin by exploring some of these major paths of yoga and how they show up in your life. So, the first path we're going to explore is Bhakti Yoga. It's the path of devotion. It is one that I like and I need to practice more of. There is a person, musician, Krishna Da, that has a YouTube channel that is focused on Bhakti Yoga, and I highly recommend it. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of love and prayer and surrender and worship, um, chanting and devotion to the divine. This is the path of the heart. Bhakti Yoga is not about the intellectual understanding at first. It's about love and it's about relationship and about opening the heart to something greater than ourselves. It can look like prayer or chanting or singing. It can be something simple as lighting a candle at an altar. It may look like offering flowers or water or incense or gratitude. And it could be something simple as speaking to the divine as mother or God or spirit. It can be devotional music, poetry, or even just tears of release during meditation. Bhakti Yoga reminds us that love itself can be a spiritual practice. So you don't always have to understand everything with the mind. It is more focused on the heart. So for those that are on the divine feminine path, Bhakti Yoga can feel very natural. It connects beautifully with with the goddess devotion, with altar work and prayer and ritual and offerings. So for example, you might practice Bhakti Yoga by placing your hands on your heart and saying, Divine Mother, guide me. Or even words like, May my heart be open. And this path of devotion teaches us that yoga can be love in motion. Now, the next one is Jnana Yoga. It's Jnana, Jnana. And it's a yoga of study and reflection and inquiry. And it's really the search for the truth. This is the path of the seeker, the student, the philosopher, and people who want to know more about the deeper nature of life. It asks questions like, who am I? What is real? Why am I here? What's the nature of the soul? What's the difference between ego and true self? And it includes studying sacred text and reflecting on spiritual teachings and journaling and meditating and questioning the stories that we've believed about ourselves and the world. Jnana Yoga is not simply collecting information. It's not about knowing more just to know more. It's the wisdom that changes us. It asks us to look beneath the surface and to question false identity. It asks us where we are attached to illusion or fear or ego or even old stories that we've told ourselves for so long. For those who love books and sacred studies, this is going to feel like home to you. You can read a script, you can journal. And one of the questions to focus on is, what path is my soul asking me to see? And the path of wisdom reminds us that yoga can be sacred inquiry. The third path is karma yoga, the path of service. Karma yoga is the yoga of selfless action, compassion, sacred service, and doing what is ours to do without attachment to the reward. The path teaches us that our actions can become offering. Service can become yoga. We many times call that word seva, S-E-V-A. Compassion can become yoga. Work can become yoga. Community support can be yoga. And it has to do with acting in alignment with integrity and love while releasing attachment to the outcome. And that's difficult because many of us want to know that our efforts are going to be recognized or rewarded, or even, I feel like more importantly, just appreciated. But karma yoga invites us to serve because service isn't sacred. This doesn't mean overgiving. It does not mean abandoning boundaries. You shouldn't exhaust yourself in the name of spirituality. True karma yoga isn't people pleasing or self sacrificing. It's rooted in love and integrity. And you can practice it by helping someone without needing praise or by offering your gifts to the community, showing kindness in an ordinary moment. You can practice it by doing your work with care and dedicating an action to the divine. For those on the priestess path, karma yoga connects deeply with sacred service. A priestess serves from connection, not depletion, and she offers from devotion, not obligation. This path of service reminds us that yoga can be lived through compassionate action. Now, Raja Yoga is the fourth path, and it's called the royal path. It's connected more to meditation and discipline. It's associated with Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga. It's mastering the mind. It's not being punished or controlled with hardships, but trained gently and steadily through practice. Raja Yoga is for those who feel drawn to meditation and inner discipline and focus and deep spiritual practice. It invites us to become aware of our thoughts, to notice our patterns, to observe the mind rather than being ruled by it. We want to create stillness and presence and move towards union or nirvana. This could be sitting quietly for 5 minutes, focusing on your breath, focusing on a candle flame, doing a daily meditation, or choosing one ethical teaching to practice throughout the day. And Raj Yoga reminds us that the mind can become a doorway to liberation when it's guided with awareness. Now, I've added the fifth path of yoga, as it is one that most people know, and it is not part of the traditional ones that I was taught, but it is Hatha Yoga. It's the path of the body and energy. It's the one that most people are familiar with because it's the physical postures or asanas, the breath work, the energy balance, the preparation for meditation. The word hatha is often interpreted as the union of the sun and moon energies, active and receptive, masculine and feminine, effort and surrender. But Hatha Yoga reminds us that the body is part of the spiritual path. It's not separate from the practice. It's not something we overcome. It's just a sacred vessel. So through these asanas and breath work, pranayama and energy awareness. Hatha Yoga helps us prepare for meditation and deeper spiritual connection. So it can be gentle poses or stronger poses. It can be relaxation or just being aware of energy moving through the body. Hatha Yoga can be practiced slowly and mindfully, and it can be adapted for different bodies. It can be done with props and chairs and blankets and walls and modifications, and it doesn't have to be intense to be powerful. When practiced with intention, even a simple pose can be a prayer of presence. The path of the body and energy tends to remind us that yoga, through Hatha Yoga, can be embodied spiritually. Now, the sixth path, again, is a path that I have added due to my working on the certification, near completing, and looking at it a little bit different than what a lot of people want to define it. And that's Kundalini Yoga. It's the path of spiritual energy. It does focus on awakening the life force energy through breath and mantra and movement and meditation and awareness. It is dormant spiritual energy and it rests at the base of the spine. The belief is that through practice, this energy may awaken and rise through your chakras, bringing greater awareness and change in a spiritual connection. Kundalini Yoga includes Kriyas, which is specific poses done a specific way. These Kriyas are created with the end in mind, and it includes breath work and chanting and mudras and energy. This path can be powerful because it works directly with your life force energy. Sometimes people say that it feels like awakening or clarity or devotion, but for others, it may need to be approached gently and slowly because if the nervous system is sensitive, it can cause a surge in energy. So you always want to honor your body, listen to your energy, and practice with grounded awareness because discernment's really important in Kundalini. Kundalini Yoga connects beautifully with the divine feminine through the idea of Shakti. It's the sacred life force energy that animates creation. She's the creative power, the spiritual energy. She is the current of life itself. So, for those walking the priestess path, Kundalini Yoga can offer a way to connect with inner fire, intuition, voice, energy, and spiritual awakening. But we always must use caution. The path of this spiritual energy reminds us that yoga can awaken the sacred life force within us, and that is powerful. The seventh path is a traditional fourth that I've always been taught. It's Japa Yoga or Mantra Yoga, and it's the path of sacred sound. The path involves repeating sacred words and names or symbols or even phrases to focus the mind and connect with the divine vibration. Mantras can be spoken, whispered, sung, or even repeated silently. And it has the reputation of mantra. It's connected many times with mala beads. Sound is powerful, words carry vibration, and repetition shapes the mind. So, sacred sound can calm the nervous system. It can focus awareness, open the heart, and create a sense of connection with the divine. A mantra could be simply just a Sanskrit mantra, a goddess's name, a prayer like phrase, or a sacred affirmation. For example, someone may repeat Om or so Om, Om Shanti, Divine Mother, guide me. I return to myself. When repeated with devotion and awareness, mantras become more than words, it becomes a spiritual current. And for people who struggle with silent meditation, a mantra can be incredibly supportive because it gives the mind something sacred to hold. Now, Japa Yoga can also feel very priestess-like because it connects the sound and devotion and ritual. For example, you can light a candle, hold your mala beads, and repeat one sacred phrase 108 times. This path of sacred sound reminds us that vibration can become prayer. And it's very peaceful. It's one of my favorite paths of yoga. Now, the eighth path of yoga we're going to explore today is Yoga Nidra. It's the path of conscious rest. I have released a Yoga Nidra on my YouTube channel as well as here today. It will come out just after this episode. And I suggest that you listen to it tonight. Yoga Nidra is often called yogic sleep, but it's not really sleep. It's a guided practice that brings the body into deep relaxation while awareness remains present. Yoga Nidra can support nervous system healing, emotional restoration, inner awareness, and spiritual rest. This practice is especially meaningful because so many people are exhausted. We're overwhelmed, overstimulated, and disconnected from everyone else. Yoga Nidra teaches us that rest is not laziness. Rest is sacred and healing and spiritual and can be a doorway into the soul. Most of the time during this yogic practice, you're lying down and guided through body awareness, breath awareness, intention, and deep relaxation. It's accessible for many people because it doesn't require any physical movement. You don't have to be flexible. You don't have to sit still in silence. You just simply receive. And for those that are on the divine feminine path, Yoga Nidra connects deeply with receiving and surrender and inner listening and the womb-like space of restoration. It invites us into the sacred feminine wisdom of being rather than always doing. The path of conscious rest reminds us that stillness can be a doorway to the divine. So, as we look at these paths, I want you to notice something. Yoga is not a one size fits all. You may feel drawn to one path more than the other. You may move through different paths in different seasons of your life. You may have a season where you really need Bhakti Yoga because your heart is longing for devotion, and then a season where you need Jnana Yoga because you're asking a lot of deep questions. There may be a season when Karma Yoga calls you into sacred service. Raja Yoga supports your meditative practice. Hatha Yoga helps you reconnect with your body, while Kundalini awakens that energy and transforms you. Japa Yoga gives your mind something sacred to hold, and Yoga Nidra allows you to rest. All of these are valid. All of these are yoga. The question is not which path is best. The question is, which path is calling me right now? Your answer may change, and that's okay. Yoga is a living practice. It grows with you. It meets you in different ways. It offers different medicine for different seasons. So today's reflection is there are many ways to come home to the divine. Which do you choose? And remember, the divine is not limited to only one. So if one path of yoga has felt more difficult, inaccessible, or disconnected for you, maybe that does not mean yoga isn't for you. It just simply means another doorway is waiting. So before we close, I invite you to choose one simple path to practice today. Meditation, devotion, wisdom, service, movement, breath, sound, or energy. And more importantly, rest. Let it be simple. Let it be yours. Let it be sincere. I would like for you to take a slow breath in and slowly release. And just repeat, there are many ways to come home. There are many doorways to the divine. Today, I choose the path that supports my soul. Take one more breath. And if you feel called to work on any of these paths of yoga, feel free to reach out to me on my website at bertina.org, Bertena, or email me at bertina@bertina.org. Come see me at Cosmic Connections or anything. I offer these classes in person, online. I have somatic yoga. And if you don't see something listed and you want to know more about it, please let me know. Okay. I want to thank you for joining me for day 4 of International Week of Yoga. Tomorrow, we're going to explore some different types of yoga and how to choose the practice that supports your body, your energy, and spiritual path. But until then, may you honor the doorway that is opening for you. Good night and namaste.